Hey guys, this is Marty from Savage Rifle Owners. For those of you who don't know who we are, we're a Facebook page dedicated to Savage firearms. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and send us a membership request and we'll get you approved. Start sharing your photos, asking your questions, answering questions. We've got a lot of good guys and girls on there, right around 2,100 members, and we'd like to continue to grow. Anyway, what we're going to start doing is a series of build videos. The first one being a budget long range video. Our donor rifle is a Savage Model 111 that I picked up for a little bit of nothing. It was chambered in 270, but we're going to rechamber it to 30-06 using a pre-threaded ER Shaw 26-inch chromoly varmint contour barrel. Then we're going to upgrade the trigger, upgrade the stock. We're going to throw optics on it. We're going to go out there and shoot. But the thought behind this video is use quality budget parts. We don't want to go over $1,000, and that's the goal we're going to keep. We've all heard the old saying, buy once, cry once, but sometimes you can't do it. So we're going to work with average working man's budget. Again, send us a membership request, and we hope you enjoy the videos. Thanks a lot. Alright guys, we've got the barreled action set in the Wheeler action wrench. We've went on and took the handle off of the action wrench, and we mounted the action wrench onto our bench vise. Alright, you want to make sure you get everything snugged down really well. One thing to note about the Wheeler action wrench here, there's a spot, a recess for the recoil lug. When you slide this barreled action into the action wrench, you want to make sure that that recoil lug is in that recess. Okay, you want to make sure you get it good and snug, because some of these old rifles have got a lot of weather in them. A lot of times the barrel nuts have seized up. A little penetrating oil a day or so before can really help loosen this up. So yeah, let's go on and get the barrel nut wrench up on here and get her broke loose. Try not to mar the barrel up too bad, and it basically just goes up on the threads of the barrel nut, and you go on and break it loose. Alright, we go on and get this barrel nut spun off. Alright, and if you notice, you can't really turn the barrel. That means I need to go on and back these bolts on the action wrench off a little bit, release some of the pressure, and it should go on and start spinning off. There we go. And then go on and spin the barrel off. Alright guys, the next thing you're going to want to do, you want to go on and remove the ejector. Alright, the reason you want to do that is because if you have the ejector in here, it's got spring tension behind it, and sometimes they can give you a false reading on your go and no-go gauges when you're head spacing the barrel. To take it out is a fairly simple process. I've got a little finish nail here. You can use a punch, pretty much anything you want, as long as it'll go down in this little hole and pushes this pin out. Alright, now keep in mind, this ejector is underneath the spring tension. When you go to push this out, be careful, because this thing will shoot out and you can possibly lose it. We don't want to have to replace unnecessary parts. Alright, so basically I just take it, push my little finish nail through the hole, finger on the front side of the ejector, start pushing this pin out. That's your little capture pin there. Alright, my finish nail is still in here, it's holding it on, and I'm just going to go on and pull that out. And the ejector is right here, and you can go on and pull that out. Sometimes the spring decides that it wants to stay. Just take your little finish nail and kind of wiggle her on out. Not a big deal. There it is. Alright, so now you've got your ejector out. Simple enough. Alright guys, we're going to go on and install and headspace the barrel now. What we're using to check headspace are actually the PTG go and no-go gauges. I was able to rent these from reamerrentals.com for about 24 bucks. You may decide to go on and buy them for a future project, and that's fine. A little bit about head spacing, checking headspace. Some guys just choose to go ahead and buy or rent the go gauge. When they need the no-go aspect of it, they'll just take a piece of tape or shim stock, and put it on the back side of this and use that as their no-go gauge. Other guys will use fired case, screw it up on there, and however they do it, and that's fine. But since this video is geared more towards beginners, we're not going to do that. We're actually going to use the go and no-go gauges. What that'll do, that'll take a little bit of the stress out of doing one of these barrel installs for the first time. A little bit about the barrel. This is an ER Shaw, chambered in 30-06, 1 in 10 twists. It's chromoly in the white, so it has no finish on it. So this will need to be finished or it's going to rust. It's not stainless steel. It's got a little bit of a rough texture on it, which is great because we're going to go ahead and Duracoat the barrel and the receiver after we're done with this, and we'll have something good for the Duracoat to stick to. You want kind of a rough surface for that. A little bit about the barrel as far as quality goes. The threads are cut really nice. I don't see any machining marks on it. The chamber is cut really nice. There's no chatter marks in it. There's no chatter marks on the crown of the barrel. Everything looks good at this point. So we'll go ahead now and start screwing the barrel up onto the action. Alright. Alright. And making sure we're keeping that recoil lug in that notch. You want to keep that square. Alright, we'll get this up a ways, and then we'll go on and we'll take our go gauge. And we're going to slide our go gauge into the chamber. We'll go ahead and we'll shut the bolt. And then we'll keep screwing this barrel up until we feel pressure where it hits up against the go gauge. Alright, right there I've got pressure. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm just going to kind of hand tighten this barrel nut. I'm going to go on and remove the go gauge. Alright. We're going to go in and we're going to put our no-go gauge in. This bolt should not shut with the no-go gauge in there. You know, you can take and you can beat the bolt down and get it to shut, but it just moderate pressure should not shut. Alright, the bolt will not shut. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to remove the no-go gauge. We're going to take our barrel nut wrench. We're going to slide it on here. We're going to try not to mar it up too bad, even though we're going to paint it. You can put tape on the barrel to protect it, and that's fine. Alright, a little bit about how tight you should tighten the barrel nut in foot-pounds. Some say 30, some say 40, some say 50, 70, whatever. We're going to get this as tight as we can by hand. I don't have a torque wrench, so I can't give you an exact measurement. But in the past, I've done these. I've pretty much just hand tighten them and have never had a problem. So go ahead, start tightening this barrel nut down. Alright. We're going ahead and put our no-go gauge back in. Still plenty of resistance on the bolt. We're good. Throw the go gauge in there just because. Bolt shuts as it should. Alright. So now that's done. Alright, we'll go ahead and we'll pull this receiver out of the action wrench, and then we'll go on and just triple check again just to make sure nothing has changed by taking this out, which it probably hasn't, but you know, we'll check it anyway. Alright, we've got the barreled action out of the action wrench. We've triple checked our headspace and everything is fine, just like we figured it would be, but it doesn't hurt just to go ahead and check anyway. You've got the gauges, might as well use them. One last thing before we go, if anybody is not comfortable with doing this barrel swap, even after watching this video, then by all means send it to a gunsmith. It's not a big deal. You know, a gunsmith will probably go on and install it for not a lot of money because it really is fairly simple. There's other things that you can do to kind of learn as you go. You know, swapping out bolt handles, glass bedding your stock, you know, things like that. We hope that you enjoyed this, and Please leave any feedback or comments or questions that you may have. We'll try to get to them. And again, we'd like for you to join us on our Facebook page at Savage Rifle Owners. Send us a membership request. We'll get you approved and get you going. Thanks a lot, guys.